Well, hello again. Been some time since we've visited with whoever you are out there. Whoops! It's my credit card people. Yep, that's who it is. We silenced the credit card people. Perfect timing, these guys. I gotta turn this off. This is an anti-usury statement on my part, but we won't get into that right now. That's enough said. Me and Ezra Pound, right? Welcome back to Orphic Koans Teriyaki tacos. This is our gesture, and our is going to become further defined in just a few minutes. Our gesture toward helping to make the bardic revolution that I think we need in this country, and which in fact is happening. Back when Laura Bush decided that she should invite a bunch of poets to the White House, what year was that? 2003, I think, right before the war, the Iraq thing started. Sam Hamill, who is a very important poet and instigator of poetry conspiracies, he's up in Port Townsend, Washington. He founded and ran for a long time the Copper Canyon Press. He protested the whole thing. He says, I'm not going to participate in any activity at the White House concerning poetry as long as there's all this saber rattling and stuff. This is before the actual invasion of Iraq happened. And he organized a bunch of poets to boycott the whole thing and then started a Poets Against the War website and so on, which you could go and visit. But that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to talk about our own things today. And very importantly, I have timed today's episode, as we have done in the previous three, to accord with an important calendar date having to do with poetry and poets. And in this case, this is the death anniversary of the man who is my principal poetry guru. I have a poetry guru set and a linguistic guru set, and my principal poetry guru was a man named Philip Whalen, and he's been here before in Volume 3. You remember he was present for Gary Snyder's birthday party on May 8th. Well, today is the 26th of June, and my dear friend and guru, I can call him a friend because we got to know each other pretty well before he passed on. He passed on exactly 6 years ago today, on 26th of June 2002, and by a miraculous happenstance, on that very day, he'd been sick for 10 years. In fact, a man at City Lights Books told me earlier that year, in January, I said, how's Philip Whalen doing? He was already in intensive hospital care. He said, oh, he's really in bad shape. I don't think it'd be good to try to visit him. He said, Philip Whalen is taking longer to die than any poet in San Francisco history. And so quite miraculously, I was visiting Reed College on this day 6 years ago when he died. So here, I have brought, as I did with Gary Snyder, I brought a bunch of books to celebrate not only Philip Whalen's activity on this planet when he was here, and you know, he leaves a legacy, very powerful legacy, because here he is. He became, in his life, at the end of his life, he got, as I say, he was sick for the last part of the last decade of his life, but he became the abbot of his own Zen Center in San Francisco at 57 Hartford Street, the Hartford Street Zen Center, which is also called the One Mountain Temple, and it's still there. And then he became sick and had to retire from that activity. He also became blind late in life, and the last letter that I got from him was actually written in the hand by an amanuensis, if I can use that term. I think it was somebody from the Zen Center who was helping him both read and write letters to friends and acquaintances and so on toward the end, because his eyesight had become so bad. At any rate, he was a great poet. And let me just read something chosen quite arbitrarily, really at random from him. Here's something.
Because I wanted to sit out and read here while I have my tea, and I'm not going to be able to do it while this is...
You started again yet? Okay. Here's I just turned open at random in this book, Overtime, Selected Poems by Philip Whalen. These are some actual reproductions of some of his calligraphic pages with drawings and so on. We're not going to do too much about Whalen today, but I just want to mark this date as a justification for doing it now. We are, in fact, and Morgan, our wonderful cameraman and production supervisor, showed you more or less where we are architecturally within the context of the city of Santa Cruz. Namely, we are at the Bagelry, which is on Cedar Street near the intersection of Maple, and also very close to a little alleyway that runs through this block called Birch Lane. And very close to us, I think Morgan may have shown you the Tea House across the way. I can't remember the name of that place. That's run by my good friend David Wright. And just to our east here, we have the Koans Jazz Center, which is one of the really top-notch nightclubs in the Santa Cruz area, which is, as we have implied, a wonderful place to absorb culture of all kinds. And just beyond the Koans is the pub, the Irish pub called the Poet and the Patriot, and so on and so forth. Probably we should get a little more personal now. Now we've established the context. I hope to be joined later by Linda Lemaster, who is our in the Mythic Government, which we've talked to you somewhat about already on these episodes. If you don't remember what I'm talking about, you can go hark back to the other ones. With me today is Brian Heath. So let's get a picture of Brian in the corner here, wearing his Veterans for Peace hat, which is exactly what we intend. And oh, while we're at it, we got some new placards here, but they say the same old thing. This is Randy Rhodes. This is what Randy Rhodes said on the radio today. This is fresh stuff. See what she said. I'm going to read this. If you ain't got a shot in hell, she's talking about running for president. If you ain't got a shot in hell at winning the presidency, she's talking about what Ralph Nader said about Obama yesterday, or today, or this morning, whatever it was. And I'm not going to repeat that. If you ain't got a shot in hell, the least you can do is campaign on the high road. Well, that's what we intend to do. If you ain't got a shot in hell, then we're campaigning on the high road. Okay, but I want to reiterate this. Talk is the main force of peace. We need to be forceful, and we need to be forceful with anything except physical force. We're not talking about this physical force here. We're talking about verbal force. Okay, verbal forcefulness. And remember, I want to recall what we told you on some earlier episodes here. This is from Whitman, and he's here too, again, to celebrate Whitman's death day. I mean, Whalen's death day. You got three guys W here. Whitman, Whalen, and Williams is also here. William Carlos Williams. These guys are all together on my bookshelf, literally right next to me, because they're alphabetical, right? Whalen, Whitman, and Williams. They're right there. So they're all together here. Here's the good doctor, William Carlos Williams. Okay, Whitman says, their presidents shall not be their common referee. That's who we are here. We're the referees. So much as their poets shall. I'm a poet, Brian's a poet, and don't know it. Right, Brian? That's right. That's right. And here's the equivalency. If the poet is the referee, then who's the president? He's the quarterback, right? These are for football guys. And, okay, then what's the Constitution? That is the rules of the game. And the poet who's the referee, got to remind the president to follow the rules, right? They say, look, quarterback, if you cannot follow the rules, then I'm going to be the quarterback. He said, but you can't pass. Like, you don't know how to pass. I said, yeah, but I know the rules.
Okay. What about when the rules have to be changed?